These are the real ways you can make a difference, ensuring ducks don't just survive but truly thrive. They think they're helping. Heck, maybe you've done it yourself, feeling good about giving them a little treat. But here's the thing. That single, seemingly kind act might be one of the most unintentionally harmful things you can do for waterfowl. It can lead to malnutrition, disease, and a crippling, irreversible deformity called angel wing. The good news is, you can help. You just need to know how. Enjoying the ducks at your local pond is one thing, but truly making their lives better is another. The path to helping them isn't just about what you do in that one moment at the water's edge, it's about understanding their world on a deeper level. Ducklings, especially, can get tired and drown in deep water, so always supervise their swim time. Building a habitat like this isn't just giving them shelter, it's creating a world where a duck can be a duck. Getting it right is step one in being a responsible duck steward. First rule, space. Forget those small, cramped cages. Ducks need room to waddle, forage, and just be ducks. A good rule of thumb is at least 10 to 20 square feet of outdoor space per duck. Think of it as their personal territory, and you'll want to enclose it with sturdy, predator-proof fencing. And I don't just mean chicken wire. A determined raccoon can shred that like paper. Hardware cloth is a much safer bet. The fence should be 4 to 6 feet high and even buried a few inches into the ground to stop any digging predators. An overhead net can also be a lifesaver against hawks and owls. Inside their coop, ventilation is non-negotiable. Ducks release a lot of moisture when they breathe, which can create damp, unhealthy conditions and lead to respiratory problems. You need good airflow, just not a draft. The coop itself should be a fortress. Think durable, waterproof materials like cedar, which is naturally rot-resistant, or even cement boards for flooring that you can easily hose down. And don't use simple latches. Raccoons are ridiculously clever and can figure them out in no time. Double or complex latches are a must for nighttime safety. But a safe home is more than just a secure box. It needs to be interesting. Ducks are smart, curious animals. To keep them happy, their space should encourage natural behaviors. Add things like logs to climb on, plants for cover, and shallow pools for swimming. Think about what's under their feet, too. Hard concrete is tough on their sensitive webbed feet, so softer materials like mulch or smooth river rocks are better. Scatter them sparingly on the ground or in shallow water, and when they're gone, let them be. You'll be doing them a much bigger favor supporting their health instead of accidentally hurting it. That's what bread does to a duck. It fills their stomachs without any of the essential vitamins and minerals they need to be healthy. This leads to major problems, especially for growing ducklings who need a mix of insects and plants to develop properly. Even worse, a diet heavy in high-calorie, low-nutrient junk food can cause a condition known as angel wing. This is a deformity where the last joint on the wing twists and grows outward instead of lying flat against the body. It's irreversible and makes the duck unable to fly, turning it into a sitting duck for predators. So, what should you do instead? The goal isn't to stop feeding them entirely, but to do it responsibly. Think of it as giving them a healthy snack, not an entire meal. The best foods are things that mimic their natural diet. Supporting these initiatives can directly save countless nests. And for most of North America's ducks, that habitat is wetlands. The prairie pothole region of the northern Great Plains is often called the duck factory because it produces more than half of the continent's breeding ducks. But these crucial areas are under threat from agriculture and development. The latest reports from 2025 show that this habitat loss is having an impact. While the total breeding duck population held steady at around 34 million, key populations like mallards are still 17% below their long-term average. The story behind the numbers is a shrinking habitat. The number of May ponds, a key indicator of healthy breeding grounds, was down 19% from 2024 and 20% below the long-term average. So what can we do? This is where large-scale conservation comes in, and you have a role to play. One of the most effective tools is the Conservation Reserve Program, or CRP. This is a voluntary federal program that pays landowners to convert sensitive farmland back into natural grasslands and wetlands. The impact is huge. These restored areas create millions of acres of prime nesting habitat for ducks, all while preventing soil erosion and filtering our water. Supporting policies and funding for programs like the CRP is one of the most powerful things you can do for waterfowl. By getting involved, you turn your individual passion into collective power. This is where you can see the direct results of your work and connect with other people who share your passion for wildlife. Groups like Ducks Unlimited have conserved over 19 million acres of habitat across North America through restoration and protection projects. Supporting these organizations, whether through a donation or by becoming a member, is a direct investment in the future of wetlands. They have the expertise and resources to tackle huge projects that no single person could. But you don't have to just write a check. Many local chapters need volunteers. You could find yourself helping with a mallard egg salvage program, where eggs from nests in threatened areas are carefully collected and incubated. Or you could help monitor wood duck nest boxes. These boxes provide a safe place for wood ducks to lay their eggs and have been a huge part of their incredible comeback story. By raising your voice, you ensure that the hands-on work of scientists and volunteers has the long-term support it needs to succeed. Advocacy is the crucial link that ensures all these other efforts can continue and grow. It's about creating a political and social climate where conservation is a priority. This might sound intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. It can be as simple as talking to your friends and family about what you've learned. Tell them why feeding bread to ducks is a bad idea. Explain why wetlands are so important. The more people who understand the issues, the greater the public will to act. On a more formal level, you can speak up for policies that directly support ducks. This means supporting foundational laws like the North American Wetlands Conservation Act and the conservation programs in the Farm Bill. These programs depend on continued funding and political support. When lawmakers are deciding on budgets, they need to hear from you that these programs matter. By taking these actions, you can become an active, powerful, and truly helpful steward for the ducks you love, and you can be the difference that helps them not just survive, but thrive. The path to helping ducks starts in our own backyards with safe shelters and clean water. It extends to our local parks where we practice responsible feeding. It grows into community action where we join others to protect the vital wetlands that fuel waterfowl populations. And finally, it's amplified by our collective voice, championing the laws that make large-scale conservation possible. The challenges are real. Droughts can shrink the ponds and habitat loss is a constant threat. But what the data also shows is the incredible resilience of these birds. They adapt, they find new resources, and with our help, they endure.